I'm on. All right. All right, folks, it looks like we are live. Good afternoon, everyone who's tuning in. Thank you all so much for joining us today. My name is Alex. I'm a public health educator with the Washington Poison Center, and I'm so excited for today's stream. We're doing something kind of new. So, for those who don't know, it is National Poison Prevention Week, where the whole goal is to celebrate poison prevention. That's what we do every day, though, at the Washington Poison Center. So we are joined by members of the Hazardous Waste Program. So let's get going. We are joined specifically by Ton, who's a communication specialist with this program, and Julia, the project manager of this program. So Ton, would you mind telling us a little bit about the Hazardous Waste Program?
Absolutely, Alex. Thanks for the warm welcome. The Hazardous Waste Management Program in King County, or HazWaste Program for short, is a multi-agency government organization that works to protect public health and the environment in King County from hazardous waste exposure. And so we provide services to both residents and small businesses in King County, and our services they basically fall into three main categories. The first is policy, the second is safe disposal, or what we call collection, and the third one is prevention, which includes educational workshops like this one.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Ton. Now, we are also joined by Trent. Trent is not only a pharmacist, he's what we call a C-SPY. That means Certified Specialist in Poison Information. So if you ever need to call the Poison Center for whatever reason, Trent might answer, and he might walk you through what to do. So today we're all here to talk about safer cleaning. And this has probably been on your mind to some degree in the past year because everyone's been cleaning and disinfecting a whole lot more because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So Trent, let's go ahead and get going. We're going to talk a little bit about some of our Poison Center data. All right, so we've got our... Oh, sorry, go ahead, Trent.
Oh, no, if you have anything else, go ahead. But I was going to say, yeah, my name's Trent. I'm a pharmacist, C-SPY. I'm one of the call center staff at the Poison Center. So I do spend most of my workday on the phone. So this camera situation here is a little new to me, but I'll try to make it comfortable. So basically all of us who work in the call center, we're specially trained to deal with situations involving poison information, poison prevention. We're nurses, pharmacists, poison information providers. We're available on the phones. We're operational 24 hours a day. We take no days off in the year, 365 days. Yeah, that's the basics of what we do.
Thank you for the rundown. And we promise that Trent does get days off. It's just that the Poison Center itself runs always to, there's always someone on call who will answer that phone. So thanks for walking us through that, Trent. So before we take too deep of a dive into some of our data on exposures to cleaners and disinfectant, let's define what do we mean by exposure.
Yeah, so an exposure is a term that we use to describe basically any contact, whether it's intentional or unintentional, that is reported to us over the phone with a concern about whether there's a potential for harm or any sort of undesirable effect. Most commonly, this describes when someone accidentally ingests or swallows something, but it can also mean anything like getting something in your eye or your ear, inhaling some type of gas or fume, or even just touching something that you're concerned about. All of these are things that we would consider possible exposures.
Perfect. Thank you for that. There are so many ways in which a given substance can enter the body and potentially cause harm. And that's what the Poison Center is all about, is trying to prevent those harmful exposures. So let's see if we can get this graph queued up. Oh, and before that, there's the Poison Center helpline. This is going to show up a lot throughout this stream. So hopefully by the end, you got it good and memorized or added to that phone, that 1-800-222-1222. So let's look at a little bit of data. So let's see, Trent, what are we looking at here?
Yeah, so this is a graph comparing exposures to household cleaning products in 2019 compared to 2020. This includes all ages. And to the left here, we see for 2019, and then on the right, that's the number for 2020. As you can see, this chart reflects a pretty significant increase in exposures to household cleaning products from 2019 into 2020, or yes, 2020.
Thank you, Trent. So what are the top reasons that we're seeing that folks are being exposed to these cleaners?
Well, honestly, there's too many to list comprehensively, but to name a few, just examples: dishwashing detergents, laundry soaps, bleach, toilet bowl cleaners. The number one reason that we consider an exposure would be unintentional general. This basically describes any accidental exposure in people who may not know what a product is or what it's for. Most commonly, these are exposures in kids who are younger than 5. That would describe about 95% of our unintentional general cases. A couple examples of this, like kids under 5 years old getting into mischief with household products, getting into the single-use laundry or dish detergent pods. These kind of look appealing to kids because of the color and texture of them, often leading to mishaps such as them breaking open in their mouths or squirting into their eyes. Children exploring the spray bottles too is another common way that folks or little kids get sprays of cleaners in their face or eyes. And then the second most common reason that folks are calling us is what we call unintentional misuse versus unintentional general. This describes use of a product that unintentionally results in an exposure. One of the biggest distinctions I could make from unintentional general is that it's happening in older kids or adults purposefully using a product when an accident occurs. A couple examples of things like this would be, say, if you had an unlabeled container that you were using to keep, say, like hydrogen peroxide in your bathroom to disinfect something, and then you mistake that for a glass of water and you take a swig of it. Moments of carelessness while cleaning the bathroom can often result in substances getting splashed back onto your face or your skin or your eyes. So a couple examples like that.
Excellent. Thank you for walking us through that. And one of my big takeaways from that is label things properly. Always some good safety lessons there. Now, are there certain products that you've seen folks calling more frequently than others for the cleaning supplies?
Yeah, bleach exposures are very, very common. We had over 1,000 exposures to bleach called into us in the year 2020. This often also occurs when folks are leaving bleach in unlabeled containers after using it for cleaning or sanitizing, like on a water bottle or just a glass that looks like it was a glass of water. It's also a product that can potentially release harmful gases if it's mixed with another household cleaner product, such as like vinegar or ammonia. And that's another common reason that folks are calling us about bleach.
That's an excellent point, and a reminder to never mix different cleaners, especially when the cleaner says don't mix with other cleaners. So read labels, folks. All right, let's go ahead and shift gears a little bit. We're going to show a different graph here and talk about some different data. Rather than the cleaner exposure, what are we looking at here, Trent?
So this is exposures to hand sanitizer by age and year. So again, we've broken it down into the years 2019 and 2020. Except this time we're also looking at the difference between ages 0 through 12 and 13 through 85. As we can see here, exposures are overall more common in the young group, but both age categories did see a fairly significant uptick from 2019 to 2020. Notably, we did help several kids between ages 0 and 12, several hundred more kids rather, in the years 2020 than we did in the previous year, 2019.
Now, why might that be, Trent? Why are we seeing more hand sanitizer exposures in kids?
Sure, yeah. Overall, use of hand sanitizer in 2020 has increased pretty dramatically, which just is bound to increase the likelihood of an exposure just if people are using it more frequently. Often people are keeping it in their cars. They have little hand sanitizer 1-ounce bottles key changed to their backpacks. It's kind of all over the place these days, and just whenever it's stored in a place that kids can see or reach it, they're more likely to get a hold of it, and that happens pretty often. A lot of times we get calls from parents in their cars saying like, hey, my kid just drank out the hand sanitizer product that we were using to wash our hands after we came back from the grocery store, and we are able to help them through those types of situations.
Gotcha. Thank you for walking us through that. So one of the big takeaways there is always have the Poison Center number on hand should this kind of exposure ever take place. Again, that's 1-800-222-1222. So Trent, we got to move along pretty soon. We could sit here chatting about this all day. As far as I'm concerned, I think this stuff is great to chat about and educate about. But final question I'll pose for you. As someone who's in the call center, what is the most important thing you want folks to know about safety with cleaning and disinfecting products?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I would just say don't overthink it, but treat these products with some respect. Read the instructions, follow the instructions listed on the package, keep the products closed, out of sight and out of reach if you're not actively using them. And of course, as you just mentioned, Alex, remember that help is always just a call away. If anything goes wrong, dial us at 1-800-222-1222, and we'll be more than happy to walk you through it.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Trent. And I should have said earlier, folks, you can always give us a call just to ask questions. It doesn't have to be an active potential poisoning emergency. It could just be to get some information. So never hesitate to call if you feel so inclined. All right, so we're going to move on now. We're going to shift gears a little bit, and Julia is going to walk us through identifying hazardous products. So take it away, Julia.
Great. Thank you, Alex and Trent. And I'm hoping that in a moment we're going to share my screen. But I agree with everything that Trent said. And what I'd like to do is to share with you 4 simple words that if you know them and you use them can help keep you and your family safer. So here is our Hazardous Waste Program website. And what I want to do is go up here to households, because we're talking about that today, and just click on Safer Home Products. Once we get there, we see this beautiful colored graphic that is trying to share some really important information. And here are those 4 words that I mentioned. If you're looking at a product and you see the words danger or poison on the front of a product, that means the product is highly hazardous, and we suggest, if you can, to avoid using that product. If you see the words caution or warning on the front of a product, look at that little face. It's a little bit like, it's still somewhat harmful. So be careful as you use it. Over here, this person's getting much happier. There are no caution, warning, danger, or poison on their product. And way over here, this person's just having a great time because they're using products that have these logos on them, and they mean that the product is the safest in its class. And I just wanted to let you know that danger, poison, caution, and warning are words that are required by law to be on a product that can harm you. They're not marketing words. They're literally there to help protect you and your family. And the way that you can use these words is when you have a problem and you're trying to solve it at home and you go to the store to buy a product, you will see, or you could see, a whole range of products on the shelf. And right now I'm going to pretend that my problem is that I have a dirty toilet, and I go to the store and I look across the shelves and I actually see three toilet bowl cleaners, and they all have that similar look and feel and coloring. But one of these products is highly hazardous, it's corrosive and can burn skin, and it's toxic. And the other one is pretty darn safe to use, and the person could have a smiley face. Looking at them here, how would you know? And how you know is to actually use the information that I just shared with you. So I'm going to be looking at the labels, and I'm looking at this one, and lo and behold, I see the word danger. So if I think back to that website that I just showed you, danger means highly hazardous, and we suggest that you avoid it. So I'm like, oh, maybe I don't really need to buy a highly hazardous toilet bowl cleaner and potentially increase exposure. Well, let me look at this one. And right here, I have a product made by the same company. But as I look at it, I see the word warning. And surprisingly enough, that indicates a much safer product. It is still somewhat harmful, but if I had to choose between these 2 products on the basis of how harmful they would be, I would definitely choose this product. But I keep looking down the shelf, and here I see another toilet bowl cleaner. Yes, it's got a cute bubble on it, but the main way that I know that this is a less harmful product is I look on the front and I do not see any caution, warning, danger, or poison So that lets me know, and I'm back on my website now, that this product is in the safe enough category that I could have a much larger smile on my face because there are no words that tell me the product is a hazard. So that is how you could use this website. You can look at 3 different products that are designed to do the same thing and figure out which one is most harmful and which one is least harmful for you and your family. And I mean, that's what we would suggest doing before you buy. And even when you're at home using your products, if you're trying to understand whether or not that they're harmful, use this information: danger, poison, caution, warning, and the absence of, to let you know if a product is harmful or less harmful or not. I think that's really all I want to say right now. I know we're going to talk some more. One thing that we can do is, if you're want to do some cleaning, is that you can actually use simple items that you already have at home to make a safer cleaner. And so right now I would like to invite my colleague Ton to come aboard or come online or to show up. And Ton is going to do an amazing demo for us. And I'll talk in a minute about how to know how you can copy Ton. I'll talk about that in a minute. Here goes Ton.
Hey everybody, welcome to my bathroom. Sorry if there is a bit of an echo. Hopefully it's not too bad. I'll try to speak up a little bit. As Julia said, I'm going to show you all how to make a safer cleaning recipe for a drain cleaner. So Julia just showed us how to identify signal words on a label to see if a product is harmful to you and your family or not. And I've noticed through my personal shopping experience that drain cleaners typically have the word danger on them, which means that they're, they can be very harmful. So I'm going to show you all how to make a safer drain cleaner with just a couple of ingredients. So you'll need 1/3 of a cup of some distilled vinegar. You'll need 1/3 of a cup of baking soda. And you'll need some hot water, which I have in my kettle here. So I'm going to adjust the camera really quick and show you how to make the drain cleaner, which we also lovingly call the drain volcano because it's a bit dramatic, which you'll see in a moment. All right, so I hope you have a good view of my sink here. I've already measured out 1/3 of a cup of the baking soda. So you'll just dump it in your drain. Then you'll want to measure out 1/3 of a cup of the distilled vinegar. And then pour that onto the baking soda. Hopefully you all hear that sizzle. And we'll want to let that sit for just a few minutes. It's best to let it sit until you don't hear any of that sizzling noise anymore. We'll just wait a couple of seconds. I can already hear the powerful cleaning energy of this safer cleaning recipe. Okay, so I'm going to sort of speed by, but the next step is you'll just pour some boiling water down the drain to clear up this mixture that we just made. Please remember to be careful when handling hot or boiling water. And there we go. And you can repeat this as many times as necessary until your drain is clear. So there is your easy, simple, safer recipe for a drain cleaner. I will pass it back to Julia or Alex.
Go for
Awesome.
it, Julia. You can talk about the other recipes there.
Cool. Thank you, Ton, for doing that wonderful demonstration. So what I wanted to show everybody who's watching is on the same webpage where we got to learn about danger, poison, caution and warning. All you have to do is scroll down. Thank you for putting up our link. And you come up with 6 effective recipes for safer cleaning. And what's really wonderful about these recipes, as Ton just showed us, is they're things you already have at home: baking soda, vinegar, and sometimes a little bit of dish soap. So those are here. The other thing I wanted to show you, if you keep scrolling down, scroll, same page, same exact page, we have a little icon that says library, because we have a lot of our materials are translated. So if you or someone you know would prefer to see this information in a different language, we have many, many languages. So if you type in the language that you're looking for, in this case I typed in the word Arabic, language Arabic, you can see that we have all this information in those languages. So that's the main thing I wanted to share with you. I think it's trying to download. I probably shouldn't have done that. Just wanted to let you know we have this information for you in a multitude of ways. I think now, Alex, I'm turning it back over to you.
Perfect. Thanks for walking through. Thank you both for the demonstration and the information. That sizzle was like bizarrely satisfying to hear, to see and listen to. So well done there. All right, we're getting close to the end, folks. Please hit us with any questions you have. We'll do our best to answer if we can. What I'll do now, we'll just kind of wrap things up and go into some of our final safety messages. So piggybacking a bit off of what Julia was saying, she was talking about making sure to know, to read the label, to know how potentially hazardous a given product is. Now, a lot of folks still may buy these more hazardous products. If you do, we really, really, really encourage safe storage and keeping that label on. Trent gave us some examples of what could go wrong if you have bleach in an open glass or that kind of thing. We don't want any exposure like that if we can avoid it. So I'm going to show you just a couple of what we call lookalike products. And it's just examples of different products that have very different functions, but they look a whole lot alike because of marketing. So if I were just to show you these, I'm just moving it fast so you don't see the labels as easily. They both have, it's white plastic with some blue accent colors throughout. If I turn it around, though, you're going to see that one is Clorox bleach and the other is 2% milk. And these are very, very different products. We don't want to mix these up in any direction, but it would go very wrong if you accidentally had a swig of this thinking it was some of this. And just to demonstrate further what Julia was showing, hopefully the image doesn't reverse or mirror on me, but there is that little danger corrosive sign there. So this is among the more dangerous categories. A couple other lookalike examples we have here. We've got another type of bleach. This is Comet. This is that powder form, and Parmesan cheese, and they both have this green labeling with some yellow accents. And be really unfortunate to put this on your pasta, and it probably wouldn't be very effective to try to clean your toilet with this. And then the last example I'll show is we've got Listerine here. This is a type of mouthwash, as well as Jet Dry. This is a rinse agent for your dishwasher. Again, you might make your dishes minty fresh with this, but you don't want to rinse your mouth out with the Jet Dry. So again, one of the best ways to prevent any sort of exposures like this is to keep the labels on and to store those cleaning products very, very separately and securely from any other product. So up high and out of sight. Yes, as much as possible. Sometimes it's depending on your setup at home, depending on the substance in question, the cleaner in question, locking them up can also be a good way to go. We give this kind of a recommendation, especially for things like medications, even over the counters, so that folks don't accidentally take the wrong thing when they aren't supposed to. One final, it wouldn't be a Washington Poison Center production if we didn't bring Mr. Yuck into it. So this is another safety measure you can do. Mr. Yuck is just one example of a labeling system you can use. So the way we encourage folks to use Mr. Yuck would be to put these are all different stickers, to put a Mr. Yuck sticker on the yucky or more toxic product compared to the non-toxic product. And then rather than just putting a label and walking away, you got to kind of reinforce that, right? You got to teach everyone in the household that seeing that green logo means no, don't consume that, don't drink that, don't eat that. And that does it's kind of hard to see in the picture, but it does have the Poison Center number there. So if there ever is an unintended exposure, you've got the number there at the ready to give us a call. Oh, and I apparently quickly flew by that first banner. I just saw that the order form. So you can always go to the Poison Center website and request Mr. Yuck stickers and other products. We can send those to you. No problem at all. So let's see. We got about 5 minutes in the scheduled time. We may log off a little early if we aren't getting any questions. Totally fine if not. And I'm getting a chat here. There we go. Julia or Ton, and then Trent, if you're still here, are there any just some last safety messages you have for folks that you'd like folks to remember and walk away with before we wrap up for the day?
Well, the main thing I want to let people know is that when in doubt, read the label first. So before you buy, read the label first and look for those words, caution, warning, danger, or poison, and try to avoid the ones that say danger or poison. And then I want to turn it over to Ton, who's maybe going to share something about contacting us or getting help.
Yes, thank you, Julia. We at the Hazardous Waste Program also have a hotline that you can call. We call it the Haz Waste Helpline. You can dial that at 206-296-4692. And we can answer your questions about safe disposal, reading labels, buying safer, any questions you might have as a resident or a small business about managing hazardous waste in your home or at your business and property. We're happy to help. Call us anytime, Monday through Friday, 9 to 4:30, except for holidays.
Perfect. Thank you for walking us through that, Ton and Julia. Well, folks, I'm not seeing any questions, which is absolutely fine. Whenever we end the stream, feel free to keep commenting, keep asking questions on the comment section. We'll follow up and check it out. You have the contact info for both of our organizations should you need to reach out. I hope you got them written down and memorized by now. Not a problem if not. This is being recorded. So, if you missed it the first round, you can always watch again, show your friends, post on your timeline or wall or whatever the heck it's called these days. I'm sounding very dated now. I've got to reference MySpace before I know it. All right, folks. So I'm not seeing any other questions. So I think we can go ahead and close things out. Thank you so much to members of the Hazardous Waste Program, Julia and Ton, and Trent. Thank you for carving some time out away from the phones. They're still being monitored, don't worry, in order to join us for this stream. All right, so thanks, folks, and hope you all have a wonderful and safe day. Take care, everyone.